Hey folks, this is Gray here, and long time no see. Today's video we're going to be talking about the Shargeek 170, which is kind of like a portable power bank, of course, compared to the old power banks that we're used to, but this should be fun. So a lot of you folks are going to be like, well, what is Gray talking about? So a lot of times when we talk about portable power, I mean, we do use the term portable power stations, but a lot of power stations aren't so portable, right? If you're trying to put it in a pack or in your vehicle, sometimes it could be a bit overwhelming, especially with the weight and whatnot. So then we move into power bricks. This is what I call it, a power source, power brick. This one I've reviewed many times, the little kind of solar panel that pops out. We've went over this bunches of different times in different videos, how it works great for EDC, and these are great. I really like it, but the technology nowadays has kind of circumvented of what this can do in charging things quickly. And the reason we need things charged quickly, let's say if it's communications, your phones, your laptops, your GPS systems, or whatever it may be that you're trying to charge quickly, you might want to look into something that I've come across. It's called the Shargeek 170. Now, this thing is a beast, folks, and as you can see, size comparison, they look kind of similar, you know what I mean? So they kind of have the same milliamps per hour, but we'll go over those specs here in a moment. Now, I have another one that I've had the Anker, I think it's called the 737 for quite some time, and used that, and then Shargeek says, hey, we got something that we want to show you, and so they sent this for me to test out, so I'm going to show it to you and get your thoughts on this. But I want to go over real quick, and I'm going to do this really quick. You can always slow the video down, or I can also put this down in the description. If you are interested in the Shargeek, as always, there will be a link provided in the description, and I think they're like 50% off. Specifications of the Shargeek 170 24,000 milliamp power brick. That's what I call it. It might be called by something else, but that's just what I'm going to call it. So it has a transparent prism silhouette, 3-device fast charging, 170 watts max output. Again, I'll say 170 watts max output with 140 watt max input. You can recharge from 0% to 50% in less than 20 minutes. Has a smart display, IP66 water resistant, unlike my Anker 737. I guess I should probably do a comparison review of the two. Has a low current mode, kind of for like that trickle charging for certain devices. If you guys remember certain movies out there, yeah, trickle charging was a key factor in the apocalypse. What else do we got? It is airline safe. Basically, it's TSA certified. You can take it with you in your luggage or whatnot. It has a 12-month warranty. Comes in at 1.5 pounds or 680 grams for those who want to be really specific. It is 170 watt max output with a PD, which is basically the cords that you want to make sure that you have PD compliant. There's 3.2 now, but these are compliant with PD 3.1, which allows 140 watts max single port output. Has 2 USB Type-Cs and 1 USB Type-A. Even when all ports are in use, you still get up to 65 watts of fast charging from either one USB Type-C port, so one or the other. All right, I think that kind of goes over it. I will go over the MSRP and talk about more of the sale at the end of this thing, but it does have even a little BMS system inside of this thing for over and under voltage protection, overheat protection, short circuit protection, tongue twister, and overcurrent protection, as well as overload protection. And there's my notes, folks. All right, so enough of that. Let's get to the bench and let's have some fun. All right, folks, so let's take a look at the Shargeek 170. As you can see on top of here, you got 2 USB ports here, Type-Cs, and 1 USB Type-A here, and your main power button right here as well. Easy to push, very kind of have that tactile feel to it. Feels good. This is the front of the unit itself. It's quite intriguing as it has this transparent design, at least from my perspective, because in here you can see these 21700 batteries. Now, the main thing that kind of calls to my attention is you can take this thing apart if you had to, in case these cells happen to go bad. I don't know if anybody's out there like me, but I keep these 21700 batteries personally for like flashlights and all kinds of stuff, so I have a stockpile of them. And if I had to repair this on the go in a bad scenario, swapping out some batteries and kind of resoldering some things would be pretty easy. Anyways, let's go ahead and turn this thing on. It has quite the display. very colorful display. I like it. As you can see here, you got your output, your input, your percentage of battery life, and then it also tells you when you're using something how long that battery life is going to be, being if it's charging or if it's discharging, depending on the way you're utilizing this product. This is the Anker 737, which is a very nice unit, don't get me wrong, but here I'll even turn it on for you. And that's the screen there. I'm going to wipe that off a little bit. It's at 100%. Here, I'll bring it up close to the camera. And you can see it's at 100%. But when you go to see all the information on that screen, it's very, very, very tiny. So for some of you older folks like myself, if the vision's not so good, this is a great device and has lots of great information on it, and I love it. It's just a lot harder to see that when you're looking at something that has this huge screen on it and colorful. I do like that. Very nifty. That's just, I think so. That's just one of the things that are like, grabs my attention and whatnot. Just to kind of give you an idea of the size right there, you can kind of see they're pretty close in nature. It's kind of turning into a comparison video, right? But maybe a ½ inch more than the Anker 737. All right, so let's do some testing on this. Let's put some power into this and power going out of this. Kind of show you it in action, because sometimes you come across products that state something like, oh, it'll do this or it'll do that. And unfortunately, they do not. To make everything work properly, the main thing that people fail to get when they're spending money on something like this is to get the proper cordage. Maybe they lose the cord to that. They think the standard USB-C is going to work. These are all Anker cords, ironically enough. They are Type Cs. I think these are 3.1 or 3.2 compliant. They can push up to 240 watts on these cables. And I like to keep them in bulk just because you never know what you're going to use them, especially if you're having, devices like this. So that's what I'm going to be using for the testing of this device. So I'm going to be using an Anker power bank to power this thing, to charge this thing up, because I know the Anker can push out up to 140 watts. All right, so now that we have it all plugged up, as you can see, the input is between 130 to 133. On there, the Anker's not going to push out 140 watts. And like I said, this thing can handle 140 watts, but it gives you the idea that this unit can handle that type of power coming into it to charge the device. The device is currently at 82%, and that kind of gives you the time before it's fully charged. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to check the output. And the only thing that I have that can handle a strong output are my drone batteries. They can take a lot of power coming into this. So that's how we're going to use these drone batteries as a test subject per se to see how well this works on pushing these batteries. All right, so now we have the drone batteries plugged into the guy, and we can kind of see how it's going up there. And we got about 74 watts going out to this. As you can only see, the way DJI works with their drone batteries, at least from my understanding, is charges one battery, then moves to the next and the next. There's a way to set that, but I'm not going to mess with that because this video is not about drone batteries. It's about this being able to fast charge some of your devices. Let's say if you're using a drone for surveillance or whatnot, or recon or whatever you're going to be using a drone for, you can charge these batteries extremely quickly. For instance, let's say like you got a handheld radio or whatnot that you need for comms, and you want to charge the battery of the device. I can use that additional USB port there to pull and start charging the device itself to kind of fast charge the walkie along with these batteries. So while we have the second cord plugged into the device, I wanted to show you that you can also charge this device while it's outputting power. So we'll go ahead and let that kick in. So once the chipset figures out what's going on about the input and output, it's still going to be charging, let's say like these batteries down here, and then like I said, the brick is charging this. So we're coming in at 130 plus watts of input and about 64-ish watts going out. So we're still able to charge a device while we're also inputting a charge into the device itself. So it kind of does that pass-through charging. And I think that's a really nifty idea when it comes to stuff like this, because what if you want to charge something rapidly, but you don't have a fast charger, but you also want to keep this charged? So you have that capability in a device like this. Outside of that, folks, you can kind of get the gist on how this thing works. Again, if you want to do the trickle charge, you can hold this down for a few seconds. It's in the directions, and it'll go down to the trickle charge where it just kind of puts out a small amount of power. for certain types of electronics that can't handle a fast charge, but you still want to charge them, so you can still utilize this device. And the fact that it also has an IP rating that it can get, rained on or whatnot, makes it a great accessory to have on the trail, camping, hiking, on the road, or whatever, family outing, anything to keep everything charged up from a device like this. Anyways, folks, let me know what you think down in the comments of the Shargeek 170. Like I said, it's 86.4 watt hours, 170 watts max output, 140 watts input. Very nifty power bank, and I do like the design. Let me know what you guys think about the design, the screen, the inputs, the capabilities. Always love hearing from you folks when I do product reviews of this type, or of any type, honestly. All right, folks, so that is the Shargeek 170 review. Woo! Pretty interesting little product. I'm digging it, folks. Looking forward to always reading your comments of what you guys think of something like this versus something like this, or other power devices that you may have to power things on the go. And I do want to mention something. I went ahead and pulled it up so I don't get this wrong, because everybody's going to want to know, what does it cost, Gray? What is the price? Times are tough. Well, it's up to you. If you absolutely need something like this, then this might be an opportunity for you to kind of pick something like this up because of the deep discounts. So here's the nitty-gritty of the pricing. So normally this thing costs $200. That's a lot of money. $200 for a power brick, right? But as of February 20th, which we're in, or I think, yeah, 20th, something like that. Anyways, February 20th to the 27th, it will be 50% off, but we're not going to stop there. I know I sound like a sales guy, right? We're not going to stop there. Anyways, 50% off. So that drops it down to 99 smackaroos. But if you use Grey 10, even with the sale, they're going to give you another 10% off. So that drops it to 60% off. So another 10% off there. You're looking at about 80 some bucks or whatnot. Do the math, tax, got to pay the piper, I guess they say. But to me, 60% off, that is a pretty solid deal on a product like this and how it can be used for emergency preparedness. I think something like this works great for quick charging. Like I said, very fast charging. Now, again, like I'm going to repeat myself, you want to make sure you get the proper cords. The cord that comes either with this, you can buy some cords. Just make sure that they are 3.1 or better compliant. Even there is some 2.0s, but the 3.1s, you kind of want to future-proof yourself. I think the 3.2s are out there, which can handle up to 240 watts, but that's going to be outside of these devices. I'm assuming they're probably going to come out with something that can handle that eventually, if not right around the corner. So final thoughts. Why would I use this? What would I carry this for? It's kind of a little bit bulkier than this, but not much. At least I don't think so. From my perspective, again, this is always my opinion in these videos. I think the fast charging aspect of it, that you can either charge this unit up and get it charged quickly, via anything. If you have one of them little portable solar panels, you can kind of pop that in here and charge it via Type-C as well. If you really, really are in a bind, but your vehicle, whatnot, if you have the proper plugs, you can get this thing charged. The key factor is if you need your phone for an emergency. I know someone's going to say, well, what about if there's an EMP? Well, we're SOL at that point. I'm pretty sure half the people out there are not EMP compliant in regards to electronic gear. And of course, there's hearsay with that. But trying to stay on topic, you need to charge things fast in an emergency. You can't be waiting around, 20 hours later, hey, my phone finally got 2% or whatnot. Kind of get what I'm going with this, especially on the go, in the mountains, or on a hike, or in a place where you just don't have access to readily accessible power. So this is where it come in handy, is charging those devices, walkies, your GPS systems like your Garmin's, your Talk2Me's, your other sources that kind of use that DC power. I think this is going to be something that I'm going to personally carry in my persons in regards to that. Keep it in my vehicle. I haven't decided if I wanted to add it to the good old get home bag yet, but we'll see where it goes. Again, looking forward to reading your comments down below, and we'll see where this goes. Outside of that, folks, remember, you are not alone. This is GreyMan. I'm out. I'll see you guys in a rebound. God bless all you amazing people out there. And of course, I forgot, hit that thumbs up button. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'll catch you guys on the rebound. Thanks for watching.